I apologize for the technical difficulties. We had a bit of a mishap. My phone died and I didn't charge it, so I lost the call. I apologize, fellas.
That was the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know, I just got sacrificed by millions.
Oh, Christ almighty. Now, before 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 we got cut off by my technical difficulty, we were discussing the possibility of Brock Lesnar's next match where he would be defeated. Now, Michael Marrone here says Brock Lesnar should not lose since he beat the Streak. No, at WrestleMania, Mike said that Brock Lesnar should not lose. Now, Frank, I would like your opinion on the matter. Should Brock Lesnar get beat by someone?
I think they're going to build him up, make him champion, host WrestleMania, and then he'll probably lose at WrestleMania to somebody. And then the only way I can see the parents to him breaking the streak was to have somebody beat him. Well, they're going to build him up to be an invincible champion, the guy who beat The Undertaker and who's now champion and he's unstoppable, and who's going to beat him at WrestleMania now. I don't think that has to be a part of the storyline. Why do you have to bring it up? Because you build him up. He hasn't lost. But I don't think there was just so much more of a build-up of Brock Lesnar as of a send-off of The Undertaker. Well, then if you go that route, you can't put the belt on him. With Brock Lesnar, when you put the belt on for the fact that, hey, look, the belt on just because he deserves it. He's just a big enough name and a big enough villain to hold it. You're not putting the belt on him because he beat the streak. He wasn't beating the streak on Lesnar too. Yeah, but he can't hold the belt for too long because it was limited. Right. That's different than a creative issue, though. Right. Well, if he was full time, he should be the champion. If he should be full time, yes, 100%. I'm not going to go heavyweight champion. He's not full time. He's got to come up with a different situation. Right. So they're going to probably make him champion close to Royal Rumble, and then go into WrestleMania as champion. Right. The other championship qualified guys, though, I feel like, the guys that everyone hated the whole time anyway. The newer guys, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, these are the guys that have to put the belt on at some point, so start building them up. Are they ready for it?
No.
No, they're not ready for it, but neither was Daniel Bryan, so.
Yes, he was.
Bryan had a good 3-year run as a singles champion. But we thought he was ready for it, it's not working out. Correct? Yeah, because I keep saying it, because he's not the underdog anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to make Daniel Bryan an underdog? Put him in the ring with Brock Lesnar. That'll make him an underdog, even if he is the champion. See, honestly, no, but you want to know the truth? You want to know the truth, though? I don't think that Daniel Bryan needs to be the underdog in every match. I think the fact that he's just a good wrestler and the fans just like the guy, I think that's enough. I mean, let's be honest. Was Stone Cold Steve Austin considered an underdog when he wrestled The Undertaker at Highway to Hell?
He was a badass Austin. He was the anti-hero. Daniel Bryan is not an anti-hero. Daniel Bryan is a good guy.
No, what I see is Daniel Bryan. What I see for him is this: Daniel Bryan is not what the company looks for. Now, you guys have to remember something. The veil has been lifted. The fans understand what the WWE looks for in the guy. They understand what their mold is. Bryan does not fit that mold. And for a few years they felt he was getting a raw deal, and what happened? His popularity reached heights that hasn't been reached since Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nobody can deny that.
But hear me out for 1 second. This might make a lot of sense, right?
Go ahead.
And I got to do with the WWE mold. Like, you bring off the WWE mold and realize that it's about what's wrestling tradition and wrestling history has shown is that he's too small to be a face champion. Right. Because if you're a face champion that small, you'll always be the underdog, like Jeff Hardy or your guy. Guys that are smaller need to be heel champions, like CM Punk, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. They're still champions. There you go. That's a good comparison. Like Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is a better champion as a bad guy than he was as a good guy.
Well, hey, listen, I got nothing against Bryan turning heel eventually. I have nothing. There's nothing wrong with that.
So then you gotta make him heel now then.
No, you don't make him heel immediately after fighting for months to finally get past the Authority and win the title at WrestleMania. The guy's as hot as he's ever been. And plus, you also have to consider this, Mike. The fans don't want to hate him.
But that's not good then.
But that's a mistake that they made. But that was a mistake. That was a mistake they made with Austin in 2001. He went heel, and the fans didn't buy it, and it didn't last for the rest of the year. He was a.
The programming is horrible, though. I mean, there's no way that come on.
I agree that they could do better with programming. I agree that they could give him better opponents. I agree that, I think, who I think would be great for him? You know who I think would be great for him? I think, you know what I think would be great for Bryan? If he had a feud with Jericho. Excuse me?
And it's not believable because you know they're not going to put the belt on Jericho. Right. You gotta have him go against John Cena first and have a few great matches, and then you go up against young stars like Cesaro or whoever.
So you want to know something? I actually would. So you want to know something? I actually wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind him having Cena or Cesaro. I wouldn't mind him fighting either one of them.
Because Cena's right now he's got heat on him, and also it's payback for him beating him at SummerSlam. Right.
Well, that's what the fans will think, but what you do is you have Bryan beat him again.
Cesaro and these guys, Cesaro is not ready to have the belt on. You got to build up Cesaro a little bit more, and then after they, because you can't put the belt on him and have him and talk to him the entire time.
No, of course not. Cesaro's a good wrestler. Cesaro's a good wrestler, but he's not ready to be the champion. I think we could agree on that.
I think topic. Why did they change his name? Why are they talking Antonio? Because it's real catchy as Cesaro. They did the same thing to Big E. It's horrible. I like the Big E license. I hate the one name things. That's the way they do it. It's marketing. It's all marketing. That's all it is.
You have to remember something. Mike. It's not professional wrestling anymore. It's sports entertainment.
Yeah, I know.
And
I like the parade. I mean, come on.
And it's bullshit.
A little more believability.
Oh,
it should be Charlotte Flair. It should be Natalia Nighthawk. It shouldn't be Natalia. It should be Naomi Knight. Things like that.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. I like Antonio Cesaro a lot better than just.
Off topic, sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it's not off topic. It's a good thing to bring up. But like you guys brought up, I have no problem with Daniel Bryan having a few title defenses against John Cena because it'll build intrigue. No one will be able to call a winner. And that's when you have him go up against somebody like a Cesaro or like a Bray Wyatt for the title. Because let's remember, Bray Wyatt beat Daniel Bryan clean at the Royal Rumble. Who's got more of a claim to go after the title than Bray Wyatt right now? Because he beat Daniel Bryan without cheating. So, honestly, Bray Wyatt, as far as I'm concerned, is the number one contender. Because he beat the champion. That's where I stand.
I think to draw money right now, you have to put Cena against Bryan.
Well, I would love to see them have a rematch and have Bryan kick him in the head again.
But the only way you do Cena and Bryan is have Cena win. It makes no sense. You wouldn't do Cena Bryan and won.
You really want to have John Cena be the champion again? How many fucking times do we got to see that?
No, it's better than what we're seeing now.
Not at all. Not at all. I think if you've had 10 title.
You listen to me. You put the belt on John Cena, make him open one of their roles, it'll be chaos. And he goes up against Braun on TV. Come on. He'll definitely be a heel then. He'll get paid more money or very close to put the belt back on. If he wouldn't have a choice but to turn heel.
Well,
they should do that.
the only way I say it's okay for John Cena to take the belt off Bryan is if he's going to finally turn heel. If he isn't, then don't.
I don't think he would have a choice at that matter.
Yeah, but they won't do it. They don't have the balls to do that. Don't you guys get it? The WWE lost their balls the second Chris Benoit killed his family. They stopped being edgy. They don't have the balls to go there. They don't. Before the streak, I did not think the streak would ever end. Now, the most unbelievable thing is John Cena turning heel. It will not happen.
He doesn't have to go full fledged yet. He could just be himself and just go up against Daniel Bryan. That'll make that. He's getting ready.
No, but you want to know something, Mike? It's the gray area needs to. It's so black and so white. People are tired of it, and I think it's more than just the fans loving Daniel Bryan. This whole fans rebelling against the machine. I think it's more than them just liking Bryan. They're just tired of the same old faces. They want something different. John Cena as the champion is not different. Batista is not new. Randy Orton is not new. These guys need to go. Now, I'm going to give you guys another example, and you just tell me what you think. Hulk Hogan, when he got on top, and just let me finish my thought. Hulk Hogan got on top. Bob Backlund got out of the way. He was out of the way, and Hulk Hogan got on top. Bret Hart got on top because Hulk Hogan got out of the way. Stone Cold Steve Austin got on top because Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels got out of the way. John Cena and Randy Orton got on top because Rock and Austin got out of the way. These two motherfuckers have not gotten out of the way.
I don't know if this is a bubble, Jimmy, but I'll argue with this. Blow in the face. Right? All those guys that got out of the way got out of the way for guys that had to get out of the way for other guys, if that makes any sense. Daniel Bryan is not anywhere close to the caliber of a guy of The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. There's no way. I don't care what you tell me.
I'm not comparing him. I'm not. I am not comparing him to those men. What I'm saying is the establishment that has been around for the last 10 years has to get out of the way. And no, but they need to. You're not understanding. You're not understanding. They need to get out of the way. Get out is the key word. They need to get out. Put them. Take an extended vacation or something. John Cena is 37 years old. You want to know how all the other guys from the past got over? Because they had no choice but to get over because nobody else was there to stop them.
Right, but when they got out, Jimmy, the other guys that replaced them were monsters, megastars.
Not everyone's going to be a lot. Not everyone.
The guys replacing Randy Orton and John Cena and Batista, Daniel Bryan's not that guy.
Really? Then who is? Well, then who else? What are you gonna do? You're gonna keep them around until they can't move no more?
No, but you know what? Listen to me. Guys like John Cena and Batista and Randy Orton will move out of the way. So guys like Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro, those guys, not Daniel Bryan.
Why you don't think Daniel Bryan belongs in the class of Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, those guys on that level for the future? You don't think he belongs?
No way. I think all the guys are better than him.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You also have to understand that when all those guys came up with those... Could you let me finish? Michael, let me finish, Michael. You are also forgetting that those guys that came up with all those cool catchphrases, they had creative control of their characters. The guys today don't have that. Oh my God, Mike, are you out of your mind? Daniel Bryan's the best wrestler in the world right now. You're out of your mind. Really? Then how come those 80,000 people erupted when he won? They didn't give two shits. They didn't give two shits less about John Cena. They wanted to see him lose.
it wouldn't make sense. Right.
The point I'm trying to make is at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make is the point I'm trying to make to you is that he's the people's choice.
No, The Rock was the people's choice.
I'm talking about today, not 10, 15 years ago. I'm talking.
The people's choice.
Yeah, okay. The Rock decided that the movies was more important than the business.
And you know what? They put the Rock should have got a pound on the
Oh, please. I couldn't stand it when The Rock was the champion. I couldn't. Please. Please. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. But having all these guys. But having all those guys that are not believable for Daniel Bryan going up against John Cena is way better, right? Because John Cena is an entertainer. Get the fuck out of here.
I think the tension would be great. I mean, you just have to learn entertainer. That's what it is, though.
Listen. I agree. And nobody wants to see John Cena overcome the odds again and again and again after he's done it for 14 years. Daniel Bryan's only been the champion, the heavyweight champion, consistently for a month and a half. Give the guy a chance to run with the goddamn ball. They did. He doesn't have a broken neck. He had a minor surgery. He had a minor surgery. I have two friends that have parents that are anesthesiologists. They told me what the procedure is. It is not that severe. It was just something that had to be taken care of. Otherwise, it could have gotten worse. And I know all about neck injuries because my dad had C4 and C5 fused, so I know what a bad neck injury looks like. That was not a bad neck injury. That was something that had to be dealt with. But getting back on track. The old guards... And I look at poor Edge. He had to retire. Poor guy. I would much rather Daniel Bryan go get surgery and heal up other than having to retire prematurely or being paralyzed, like Austin was. The fact of the matter is this: John Cena and Randy Orton are the two guys that were the guys from 2005 all the way up until now. It is their time to go away. They cannot. You're going to tell me that in 2020. Those two motherfuckers are still going to be the two top talents in the WWE? Give me a break.
No, but you know what? 2020, Randy Orton's going to be 37 years old. He's John Cena right now, so Randy Orton 100%.
I think both of them need to understand that their roles right now is what Chris Jericho did in 2012. Just put...
You got to stop blaming Randy Orton like that. He's 30-something years old. Stop. He's a kid.
Their roles... Well, maybe Randy Orton could be the Triple H of the next era. Be the veteran that's been the champion for many times, but sticks around to try to get some more glory. I could understand that, but...
What they should do is revamp a little bit with Randy Orton and make him a little more sinister and make him lift.
Oh, please! When he was kicking the McMahons in the head, I loved it.
That's what he could have done. So I said all the time.
Well,
did you guys hear the rumor now that Ric Flair's in a match the Miz?
Oh, please! Don't get me started. Do not get me started on... Please, they... Could someone here please explain to me who... And I'm glad that this is getting on the show. We got 11 minutes left and then we're done for the night. But I want to know, who did Damian Sandow and Dolph Ziggler piss off? I would love to know. Because... I think that they... Really? He seems like a Chris Benoit guy to me.
No, they know the Triple H guy, 100%. I don't think we'll get trying to know, trust me. Listen, the bottom line is merchandise. Do these guys sell merchandise? They're going to have something to say about it. Let's put it this way.
The guys turn into a complete joke. I mean, come on. For crying out loud.
The fact that you're a Triple H guy means that he will stick around and he will continue to try things until it sticks. Just like they do with Ray Barrett.
Once they put the Magneto, once I saw him in the Magneto costume, I said to myself, could they have shot his career any better if they shot it with an AK-47?
They're not showing it down. He's in the same boat as Ray Barrett. Ray Barrett was a Triple H guy, and they kept him around until they figured something out, and they did.
Well, I want to add an extra statement to this whole Dolph Ziggler, Damian Sandow thing, and it's a comment that Bob Holly brings up in his book, and he said this in an interview, and I believe it 100%. When guys like Vince McMahon, guys like Triple H, and guys like Jim Ross turn around and say, oh, you have to make a spot for yourself, you have to go out there and you have to prove yourself, that is complete bullshit. They either like you or they don't. It's their decision at the end of the day, regardless of how popular you are, because let's be honest, Dolph Ziggler, when he comes out, the fans react to him. They like him. They don't sit on their hands. They don't sit on their hands when he comes out, unlike The Miz, who absolutely sucks.
Right, but at the end of the day, you have to trust the man's decision.
Really?
Not too many guys have left fix.
Vince McMahon wanted to call Mick Foley Earman or the Mutilator. Mick Foley suggested the name Mankind. Does that sound familiar to you?
Right, but what other guys like left Vince and said, oh yeah, bad idea, went from a company to get a megastar? Shane Douglas? Or Bagwell? Exactly.
Well,
Mick Foley, he wanted to name Mick Foley Ice Stagger and Frank McFrost. I get it, you know? But, I mean, that's just one guy, and Mick Foley...
I'm just giving an example because if you have I believe that if they have a passion for the business, that will bleed over into their characters. If they're just there...
Foley's talented and he gave legs to man. I disagree, because a lot of guys are passionate for the business and just think...
Well, I think Dolph Ziggler has been criminally underutilized in the last calendar year. He went from being in a main event with John Cena at TLC to not even being on the fucking pay-per-view, all because he turned around and said that John Cena and Randy Orton get too many opportunities, and it's a fact. Have you? I'm guessing you guys didn't. And see, this is where you guys don't see everything. You ever see the promo that he cut on the app when he was really getting into his promo? That was an amazing promo that he cut. If they let that guy cut... Well, you want to know what? When you use real emotion and you use reality, the best shit comes out of it. When it's from your heart, your guts, and what you're truly feeling, shit like that will come out. I'll give you another example.
But every angle can be like that, though.
Why not?
Because then it gets watered down, that's why. You have to be able to do both. As champion, you got to be able to do every aspect. You got to be able to...
Well, I think if they let that guy... Well, I think that if Dolph Ziggler was allowed to go full throttle and actually speak his mind from time to time, you know, I think that he would be in a much better position and the fans would embrace him a lot more. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fans like him. There's no question about it. Please, when he cashed in Money in the Bank after WrestleMania 29, that was one of the loudest reactions I've ever heard on a Monday Night Raw. That was amazing. Nah, not like that. Not like that. Because he had a bunch of concussions that slowed his momentum. Injuries will always slow momentum, but it's what the company does. But it's what the company does following that really makes the decision of where it's going to go. I mean, when he came back, he could have beat Del Rio, but he didn't, and Del Rio got booed out of the building for beating him. Please, Alberto Del Jabo, a guy that I never liked from the second I saw him. I didn't like that he won the Rumble to begin with, because when he won the Rumble, it ended up going into the first match of WrestleMania. That shows you just how much the big gold belt means to them.
And also, when he lost Ricardo, it seems like they lost all that.
It's like Sandow. They took away all the things that made him cool: the robe, the handstands, the the elbow of disdain. They took away all the things that made him cool. See, here's how it works in WWE, and then we're going to end on this note. If you get over on your own, that's a mortal sin in the eyes of Vince McMahon. You don't believe me? Ask a lot of the guys that tried to get over on their own, and it's because the machine wasn't backing them.
How can you say that when you say the fans made the yes movement and made injection?
Because that's a different level of over. The guy is over like Austin was.
Because it was a part of the machine, that's why, Jerry.
Excuse me?
That's why Daniel Bryan is a part of the machine. The yes movement is a part of the machine. The yes movement, Daniel Bryan is a member of the party.
See, you want to know something though? I could care less if he is a product of the system because I think he's the best wrestler in the world, and I think the best wrestler should be the champion. Ric Flair.
Daniel Bryan coming out for the Hollywood Hogan and said all the fans suck. He might.
You want to know what's funny though? Daniel Bryan could play a very good heel if he's allowed to. And you want to know what? And you want to know something? Unlike John Cena, Daniel Bryan can play the villain, and he can play both sides of the fence and not have a problem doing it. They're worried about making the Make-A-Wish kids cry. Oh, please, cry me a river. Scratch your ass with that. I hate that friggin' excuse. Because actors that play villains in movies still do Make-A-Wishes, and they make good money, for these kids. How is he any different? He isn't. He's Vince's golden goose.
You can't have John Cena come out and start bad-mouthing everybody and then go...
Oh, I would love it. I wouldn't cheer him. I would boo him. But inside, I would love it. I would love to see all those kids cry. No, I want him to be a full...
I'm a heel. You're a face in real life. I'm a heel. I root for the big guys at the end of the movies. But I don't want to see a little kid cry because John Cena.
Kids cried for Hogan too. Don't forget that.
But these are sick little kids. Come on, they're sick.
And there weren't any sick kids in 1996. Wow, I wish I could have lived then.
He wasn't doing Make-A-Wish like John Cena was doing.
No, but the fact of the matter is, you can't let that be your deciding factor of where your career goes.
If it makes more money, though.
They could make more money. Hulk Hogan made a lot of money when he was a hero, correct? How much more money did he make when he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan? Proof positive. It can be done. They just have to have the balls big enough to do it.
I think that Hogan had to become Hollywood because his career was going to end if he didn't.
Wasn't Hogan getting booed similar to how Cena gets booed? Of course he was.
No, Hogan was like, he was going to have to retire booed. But Hogan wasn't getting the reaction that it was. They were like, come on with this guy. They weren't even paying attention.
No, but even Jim... No, but you know what's funny? Even Gene Okerlund, who's a diehard friend of Hulk Hogan, admits the last 2 or 3 years he was in WCW before he turned into Hollywood, he was getting booed out of buildings because they didn't buy it anymore. And it's the same thing with today. I don't care that he makes them all this money. Their pockets are bottomless. They can afford to experiment. They have no competition, so they can afford to do that. They have no excuses. Mike, Frank.
These guys have 10-year contracts, right?
Excuse me?
These guys are in the middle of 10-year contracts.
So when would you have him turn heel? If you had the pencil in your hand.
I'm just saying, like guys like Cena, even Big Show, Randy Orton, they're in the middle of 10-year contracts.
Okay, let's say John Cena is signed. Let's say just hypothetically. We're in 2014. Let's say he is signed until 2020. When would you have him turn heel? If you had the pencil in your hand and you decide, okay, listen, this is what we're doing. And how would you do it?
I told you already.
Have him beat Daniel Bryan. You have him... Look at Christian.
You have to make him tread water in the mid-card and be irrelevant and fight Bray Wyatt, do what he's doing now. And then at some point, he comes out of absolutely nowhere and screws somebody out of the title. Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. Look at Christian. Look at the week before. Well, look at it this way. Christian, not that he's that relevant anymore. Christian was a babyface. The second he attacked Daniel Bryan, he was an instant bad guy. What does that tell you about Bryan's popularity? You touch him, you're a bad guy. It's that simple, and I would do that. I would have John Cena be in the middle of a feud that Daniel Bryan's having with somebody. Specifically, I'd have it be Triple H or Brock Lesnar, one of the two. And you have John Cena come out, and while the referee has his back, while the referee's down, you think John Cena's going to F you, Triple H or Brock Lesnar? What does he do? He drops Daniel Bryan, and the world is shocked. Tell me that wouldn't. Tell me that wouldn't create must-see television. Yeah, okay. And where's the scale? And who's on the scales of justice for the good guys? Just Daniel Bryan? He. Oh. I hate to tell you, Mike. Mike, I hate to tell you, the Horseman's dead. Well, listen, I think we all would deep down like to see John Cena be a villain because he's got it in him. He's proven he has it in him. And plus, his character really needs to evolve. Can we at least agree his character needs to evolve? Can we all agree on that?
I think he needs Tom Cole.
Oh, Christ. A problem solver. That was great. Yeah, you had Bull. Christian had Tom Cole because he was a problem solver. But I'll tell you what though, WWE could. Yes, he did.
That was terribly bad, but so good.
Oh please, I actually missed Thugonomics. That was actually. Oh please! And what about at the last pay-per-view? The fans were actually singing "John Cena sucks." I mean, come on! What more proof do they need that this guy needs to be a villain? The fans love to hate him.
You know what, Jimmy? I'm not gonna lie though. He might turn a villain. Guys, people might start cheering him. That's gonna happen. The guys who burn him are gonna cheer him. The guys who.
No, I think that they'll. I think that they'll be so shocked that he turns heel that they won't know how to react, much like the Streak. Well, you want to know what? At the very least, it'll be interesting television. That's more than I could say for what they're doing now. Listen, next to the streak being broken, what would be more shocking than John Cena turning heel? Nothing. Nah, fuck. Listen, CM Punk is retired. CM Punk is retired. I say leave him be. Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, no, don't forget. Why don't we have Stephanie McMahon pin Daniel Bryan for the title? That'd be something, right? Have the first women. You want to see Daniel Bryan and Braun panties? You got problems, Mike.
I'll look at Daniel Bryan in ages for 3 hours. I can watch Stephanie McMahon in our underwear. She's so sure it's kind of hot. I'll take the hate on Daniel Bryan if she's Stephanie McMahon. 100%.
And on that, well, we don't usually end on sexual innuendos, ladies and gentlemen, but but Mike, do the Val Venus line.
Which one?
The one that he would say when he comes out. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us tonight, and we will have the next video possibly a week after the Payback this weekend. Real quick, fellas, predictions. I'm predicting John Cena's winning the Last Man Standing match, and the Shield is going to beat Evolution, and Daniel Bryan's going to hang on to the title. What do you guys say?
I don't see Evolution losing to a record division alone like that.
Okay. Well, no, Brock Lesnar got the better of the Undertaker the week before WrestleMania, and who won? Brock Lesnar.
I just feel like the Evolution and the Shield has nowhere to go. I feel like if Shield wins again, and now it's they won it WrestleMania, right? Now they win again at Payback, and what do you do with that?
Okay, so you're picking Evolution. What about the Last Man Standing match? What about the Last Man Standing match, Mike?
Last Man Standing match.
John Cena and Bray Wyatt. I know the storyline sucks.
They're gonna do something kooky in that. Well, Bray Wyatt's gonna win.
All right, nope.
And, I mean, the rest of the Wyatt family has to be involved. No, they're gonna do something kooky. Something's gonna happen. Something out of the blue's gonna happen. They're gonna do something strange, I think.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But gentlemen, this is it for us for tonight. We hope everyone had fun, and we'll see you guys after Payback. You guys all take care now.